Okay.
So pass the mic. Yes, sir.
Hi. You mentioned that you think the government could have a role in sort of like with PBS, with getting better content creation. And I was curious as to what you think that might be. You said other countries have done things, but a lot of artists would be resistant to having some type of government intervention in content. And I was curious to what you thought on that.
Well, the thing to me is that, like in Ireland and places like that, they have a fund, and then you say, okay, here's $200 million. And we're going to create content that will speak to the audience in the right way. Because again, not that we're trying to say, let's do some negative stuff, but right now, like today, I was sitting outside at a restaurant working with a young writer here, and a man came up to me and he says, Robert Townsend, man, he said, oh man, I got 3 kids. I raised them on the parenthood. Them lessons that you was sharing on that, I got from you. So all I'm saying is that if the government set up a fund and the right filmmakers and the right artists of all, because right now, and when I think of my Latino brothers and sisters, they have nothing on television. They have nothing. It's kind of segregated, like NBC, CBS, all those networks, nothing. And it's not. And I'm not talking about the 5th row, like Captain, we got a body over here. Your wife's on the phone. I'm not talking about that. So the way the fund would work is that there would be movies, because right now, the thing is that we just want it to look like America. Like sometimes you look at television and it doesn't look the way it should. And it's like you said, hey, I want to go to the movies today, and I'm not prejudiced or anything, but I just like to see a movie with some Latinos in it, or I want to see a movie with some Asian people in it just to feel, I want to see somebody, a movie with African Americans in it. You go like, oh, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. So the fund would be one where it would be set aside for new media, web content, and the way it works in other countries is that, yes, there's a team, a board that's put together to say, these are, like say, for example, if I sat on the board and Bill Duke sat on the board and Susan DePass sat on the board, you'd have a sense of community that understand writing directly, and there would be no waste of money and real ideas that will touch that core audience that needs it. They need it. Other questions? Other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, my dear.
So when you were creating public purpose content, specifically, for online, what was your process outside of the exercises to come up with a pitch? How did you pitch that content?
Well, the thing for me is that the first concept came from Ray about single mothers, and then I brought in Cheryl West and pitched the idea to Cheryl about writing the script about 3 single mothers. And so it's kind of finding an idea, and again, an idea that is unique, and then an idea that can be done for a cost. Because if somebody comes and pitches an idea and it's too expensive, like sometimes people pitch science fiction movies. The movie's going to cost $200 million. Hollywood's not feeling that. They're going to give it to their guys that do that already. So the thing is that to make sure that the pitch fits. So like if you pitch me a show, you say, hey Robert, I got a companion show for Diary of a Single Mom. I said, it's going to be da-da-da-da-da-da. And I watch the show, but I see how you do this is how we can do this. And here's the first 8 episodes, here's the next 8 episodes. And I'm like, whoa, I want to be in business with you. But if you come in and go, I got an idea, but you tell me what you did. You know what I mean? What kind of character should be in there? I get people that pitch me like that as well. And they're like, well, I didn't really think through where they're going to go the next episode. So those that go the extra mile, because I had a meeting with Mr. Parsons when he was at Time Warner. We were talking about Black Family Channel joining that. And there was some internal stuff going on with my company at the time. And Mr. Parsons says, look, I want good managers. I will, we can do this, and you can be Bob Johnson for me over here, but everybody has got to line up and understand business. And what happens again, sometimes we hire the wrong people, and we are afraid to, because some people hire cousins and friends and all of that, and because I know a lot of people in show business, I never make it personal. It's business. And I think sometimes, so when you come to pitch, as long as you have everything thought out, and you're like, well, this is what happens, this is what happens. And the other thing is that when people pitch ideas, pitching, writing, directing, acting is a muscle. You got to pitch 30 people before you come in a room with me. Pitch it, practice it. You got to practice it. You got to practice it. And as you see, I'm animated. You want some energy too. That's why I did the exercise. Some of you might think this is the greatest idea ever. Once you get this, you're going to see that it's going to be,
last question.
One last
I
question.
have a,
Can you say your name too, so that way we can both of us know? Oh, yes, him, and I'm sorry. Okay.
that's fine. My name is Juan Pablo Giometti.
Yes, sir.
I was impressed with what you said about how you come up with all these ideas of raising money on your own. That's called bootstrapping, right? And someone, but I really value that side. And also, I think it's the same way that you mentioned that when you let other people come up with ideas, the lady from Starbucks. My question to you is, one side is the person who is preparing the pitch, right? But do you have any insights, or how do you learn what is the best way to learn what the ones who are listening to you, to your pitch, they're expecting for? Because many times it's not about you, right? You can be the best one pitching, but you learn to know how to play with your audience. So I was wondering, what do you learn in all these years about the listeners? Do you have any key points that they are looking for you, they're waiting?
Well, you know, the thing that I would say with any idea, who you're pitching to is just regular people. Everybody's job is on the line. So everybody, you know, when you go into the room, the question is, do I want to spend $10 million on this gentleman right here? Can I trust him? Will he take my money? Can he really deliver this? Does he have the right team? So my job's on the line as well. So when you're pitching to me, the only thing that I would say is that, that's why I said pitch it to 20 other people that you trust. And people that go like, you know what, that's not working for me. The name of that character sounds too stupid, or that product has already been done. You're just doing so and so and so and so. How do you put, you know, it's like, yeah, there was iPhone, and then now Droid was taking up some space, but they figured it out. They said, iPhone has this and this and this and this. We've got to come with this and this and this. And they put their minds together. So part of it is regular people, like today, when people walking by, like, okay, here's the idea of the young writer that I was working with today, all right? He wrote this script, he won the pitch competition for movies for my American Black Film Festival. He had an idea. He says, the title of the movie is called The Let Out Guys. And it's about these guys who can't afford to get into a club, and how they meet women is when they let them out. So it's four friends that they pretend like they've been in the club like, woo, the music was off the chain. And they have all these things that they do to get women, and then they end up falling in love, and they have to get their lives together because he's going to change their lives. So he pitched that idea, the whole room went crazy because we've never heard of a movie or seen a movie called The Let Out Guys. And it's these four rascal friends that get together, and all they do is chase women, and then they fall in love because they don't have money, and they are forced to really get their lives together. So, unique concept, and it could be like 40-year-old virgin, or The Hangover. You follow what I'm saying? So, but the thing that I would say is that it's practicing the pitch, making sure that it's an original idea, and again, all we want on the other side when we're hearing the pitch is to get excited about the pitch, to say, I can see that movie, I can see that television show, I can see that web series. Last question, sir. Yes, sir.
How you doing? Thank you for your talk. My name is Kayvon Noel. My question to you is something you kind of alluded to when you mentioned team. And, when we all come up with ideas, like you said, we were pregnant with the idea, and you want to formulate the idea, make it a fetus and all that stuff and give birth to it eventually. But when you get into the partnership situation, that's when the partner becomes like a stepfather, if you will, where they're not the parent, essentially, but they're kind of parenting your idea, but they may not stay for the long haul. So how do you approach the whole idea of partnership and letting people into your concept?
Partnership that's a very good question, because I've had partnerships that worked really well and partnerships that didn't work really well. I think that, when you're about to go into business with somebody, you've got to spend some quality time with them. Because you might meet a person one or two times and be like, we really hit it off. You Scorpion, I'm a Scorpion. You like beaches, I like beach houses too. And you don't really look underneath the hood of the relationship, because then you can have partnerships from hell where everybody doesn't see the same thing. Egos. Because here's the deal: once you put money on the table, everybody gets a little crazy. So you really, really, really have to drill down, because the hardest thing is to fire one of your best friends, to fire a family member, to fire somebody that you really love and care about, and they can't, I've been in all those situations where it was people. That's why I had a policy where I go, no, like with friends and all that stuff, unless they're really qualified, I don't play that game anymore. because we're all in it to win. Everybody here is on a serious mission. And you know what's funny now? It's like once you have a mission and once you have an agenda, that's when time starts to fly. Like this year, it's flying, you know, because now there's goals. So the only thing that I would say is that, you know, to look a little deeper as you get into your relationships with, you know, partners, because yeah, the right partnership is heaven, you know, where you can go boop de bop, and it's like Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. They understood each other's rhythm. So that's one where, you know, I have a thing where I will meet with new partners, you know, 6, 7 times before we cement the deal. We're going to meet, we're going to talk, we're going to break bread a couple of times, we're going to talk philosophy, how do you feel about this, what do you feel about that? You know, some people, I don't want, I sleep good at night because I don't cheat anybody. I have partners that they have no scruples, you know, and I go like, I didn't know that when I got into business. It's like, nah, man, we know how much money's coming in, let's trickle down to the rest of the troops. So it's kind of like what you're in it for and what you need in a partner. It's kind of, you know, like you got to write down, because I look at it like this. Every movie, every television show I created is a life. It's a life. So I got to be married to that group of people. Like all the gentlemen on the 5 Heartbeats and the women in the cast, we're all friends to this day. We created something together. It's the same thing, you know, like with you know, partnerships. You know, you just got to drill down and see what you really need out of it, other than I need a financial partner, I need a creative partner, and then once it's all said and done, we work together. So that's it. Thank you guys very much for all this time.